He had started to go through a transformation. He broke free of the handcuffs, and his body started to grow, somehow outgrowing his own skin to the point I could see it ripping throughout his exposed body. His face had begun to morph into something out of the sickest person's nightmares. Something inside his face was trying to explode out, so he used his claws to rip his own human face off, revealing a demonic werewolf that was still somehow grinning at me. Another werewolf had jumped on the car and was staring right at from the other side of the windshield. The other one had slowly peeked up from my passenger side window. I started hyperventilating as all the three werewolves attacked me from different sides. The first one to get through was the one by my passenger side window. It easily smashed through and immediately tried to bite my face off. It missed by a few inches. The only reason it didn't succeed in its second attempt is because I fired a round right inside its mouth. The werewolf on the car bonnet was quickly smashing through the windshield and was desperately trying to bite or slash at me. The one still in custody was biting his way through the metal cage and seemed to be the most anxious of all to get to me. I shot off a few more rounds to the one that was now apparently stuck halfway through the window space due to how massive it was. It didn't seem to hurt it at all. It was only a matter of time before they got to me, and shooting myself was not sounding like a bad idea at that time. I turned the barrel of my weapon to my lower jaw pointed up. I could still feel the heat and the faint smell of gunpowder still in the air. I was about to pull the trigger when one of the werewolves, the one on top of the bonnet which was desperately trying to reach for me, was thrown off violently off the car. Seconds after it was the one stuck in the window, it was pulled so hard back that chunks of flesh remained on the broken glass left. Lastly, the door to the back seats was ripped off, and something pulled the suspect that had turned into a demonic werewolf. I was convinced I was going to be next, but nothing happened for the next few minutes. I heard the roars of those creatures somewhere in the dark, but it was different now. It was not sounding powerful, but hurt and frightened. I wouldn't have been able to shoot anything even if I tried with how much my hands were shaking. Maybe an hour passed when I saw the red and blue lights approach. I didn't really feel safe until fellow officers I barely recognized pulled me out of the destroyed patrol vehicle. The next few hours were a complete blur. I remember getting medical attention. I spent the next few days in the hospital. We had body cams, but it were completely destroyed. When I gave my statement, they didn't believe me and forced me to change it even though they knew that the incident would not have happened in any other way. Nevertheless, it couldn't change the fact of how my partner died and what I saw that night. After a few days, a man holding a folder and who I've never met before comes in and sits down opposite me. He threw the folder at the middle of the table containing photographs of the crime scene. Our destroyed patrol vehicle, the dead security guard at his post, and a few random dismembered bodies. I was tired, confused, and angry. As I was about to say something, he said, "You and your deceased partner encountered not one but 3 lycanthropes last night. It's a very rare occurrence to survive an encounter with one, let alone 3. He said that all evidence of last night's events has been confiscated and suppressed. The department will issue a statement of your partner's death that will not involve supernatural creatures. When I asked him about who he was, he said consider him a liaison between our 2 departments. When I asked which department, he said, which you are going to join now.